Does it need an
I'm not
introduction?
anything special, let me tell you.
Oh, I'm gonna introduce her. This is
Heck.
we're gonna be official. Yeah, we gotta be official. If we're gonna do this thing, we gotta do it right.
No.
But I'm not an
But I
authority.
don't want to be in the picture. Somebody else introduce her.
See?
Hey,
I got
you're
crazy.
the one that's over
Come
this.
on,
Okay. Hi. I would like to introduce Mary Montalago. She is my good friend, and we've been doing essential oils and preparedness classes for years together. And she has such great knowledge, and I so appreciate her because she is well-read. This lady is well-read. She's well-versed in many subjects. She's very talented. She's an artist. But more than that, she is into preparedness with me, and we've just really enjoyed being together working on all kinds of preparedness projects. And today I've asked her to tell us all about water, preservation and cleaning and all kinds of stuff.
Really?
So she is going to
Cleaning,
teach.
huh?
Well, you're going to clean the water, right?
Okay.
So anyway, here she is, Mary Montalago. We're so happy to have her. Thanks,
Thank you.
Mary.
Thank you.
Say that last name again. I've never heard it.
Montolongo. You know, there are more Montolongos in Utah than there are in California, and they're all migrated to California from Mexico, so figure that one out. First, we can talk just a little bit about storing water. Most of it's about finding water, purifying water, but storing water, they suggest that we store a gallon per person per day. That's not very much water, really. And I don't think that really includes cooking water. I would think this is drinking water and maybe a little bit of hygiene. But that's probably all that you can do with a gallon. So if you want to wash clothes, and if you want to cook with water, if you have a lot of things in your storage that like dehydrated or freeze-dried foods that need to be rehydrated, you're going to need more water. But this is for survival needs, is 1 gallon a day. Now, you don't need to treat your water if you're using tap water, because tap water is treated. But I don't know if you have well water, if that's treated. I don't know. I know a lot of people out here have well water, so you'd need to treat it. But the one thing about storing water is that you want to use a container that is like a 4 grade or higher, like a 4 or a 5. I don't know what this is. This is temporary anyway. This is a 1. This isn't
Don't
so
want to
hot.
use that.
This is not so hot. This is peat, though. It says peat.
I store all of my water in those under my sink bed.
And this is okay, like for your 72-hour kit for temporary use. But like if you're going to store things like in your garage, you have to worry about carbon monoxide fumes when you turn your car on. I don't know, you need to get the big barrel, the big thick plastic stuff. And you know those little carry ones that you can buy, the 5 gallon, those are good too. And if you're going to put it in your garage. Now, we have a lot of it stored in our house, and then we have a barrel in our garage. We only can fit 1 barrel in there. We live in a condominium, so we can't put it outside or, So you have to think about where you live and what you can do, how you can store your water. Bonnie was saying that she even stores water in canning jars. She just sticks it around the house. She's got a smaller home, and so she doesn't have a lot of storage, and she just puts her little canning jars of water everywhere in the house. She's probably someday when you move, you're going to have all kinds of water you're going to come across.
Well, I figure if it doesn't have food in it, it better have water in it.
There you
Better be
go.
storing something.
And it said if you're going to store it on a cement slab, like in your garage, you need to put a platform or something under it, like even just boards, because you don't want the acid from the cement to leach into your plastic, because plastic is a little bit porous. It will attract that. So one thing that is so debatable right now, I find all kinds of information on purifying water with bleach, with everyday common laundry bleach. But laundry bleach is very caustic. It's very unhealthy to use. And so a good alternative is chlorine powder. It's called calcium hypochlorite. It's what they use from the pools, the pool chlorine. It's very concentrated, and I don't know if you want to know now how to use it. Does anybody want to know what the breakdown is? Okay. Yeah, you can get it at Walmart.
Pool supply places, where have they
Yeah.
sold those?
Yeah, Walmart's got it. It's like $8 though, and so we haven't bought any. It's
Yeah,
like,
this talks about
By
that,
the way,
too.
just my aunt and my cousin wrote this article, so I know the authors personally, and so if you want more information too, I can get you more information. But when I read this, it really resonated with me, and it felt right.
well, a lot of people are very can't have bleach around.
Yeah.
I know my mother has leukemia; she can't have bleach around, so it's kind of important to have all. We're going to get today. We're going to get all kinds of alternatives of how to take care of water, and to be able to use clean water. So, depending on what situation we're in, we can choose one of these options. And so the breakdown of the chlorine powder, it says, add and dissolve 1 heaping teaspoon of the chlorine powder for each 2 gallons of water. So this produces a chlorine solution. Now you're not going to want to drink this. This is what you're going to make your clean water out of. Then you're going to disinfect the water. You're going to add the chlorine solution in the ratio of 1 part of chlorine solution to each 100 parts of water. So approximately 2 teaspoons per quart or liter. So you can see how concentrated that is. 2 teaspoons in one of these probably, right? Would you say? Maybe 2, because this is more than a quart. So 4 teaspoons, I'd say, probably in this, of that solution.
Is that 2 quarts or a half gallon?
I think this is a half gallon. I don't know. I don't know this kind of
Is this
stuff.
the same thing as
I
they're
just have a
talking
label
about
on it.
here, the real chlorine here?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Real
Because-
chlorine.
Here it says that you only need an 1/8 teaspoon to 55-gallon container.
Yeah, well, it's this is their instruction, and I guess you can do
Maybe
it
it's
either way.
not a
See, this
secret.
is a solution that you make
Yeah, that's
that you
different.
have on hand
Okay.
because it's powder,
Okay.
and then you add that to the
This
water.
is granulated too. I wonder why.
I don't know.
What
This
the
is different
difference is.
information, and
Yeah.
Mary didn't get this before, just right now. I
No.
wrote this.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's
I'm
in a
just
food
wondering-
storage book, and
yeah.
so
I'm just
I
wondering
think-
if there's a different kind of chlorine and I don't know which one
I
to
don't
get. Does that make
know. I
sense?
don't know.
Like different versions. So if
I
get the wrong
guess
one.
what you would just know is that you use just a very little bit, a very little bit, and that I'm sure if you have a little bit more or a little bit less, it's okay. No, it's okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I just don't know. Yeah, it is interesting. So one method that we all know about is boiling water. It says when water boils, any bacteria that may have been living in it will be killed, thus reducing your chance of getting sick. So you boil it for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then you let it sit. And you want to, before you do any kind of purifying with water, you should always filter the water. You should always put it through a cloth or a paper towel or a sieve or something, in case there's solids or metals or, anything in it. Who knows what could be in it. It says here, be aware that boiling water does not remove solids, metals, or minerals. So, and let's see, let it sit. You don't need to let the water sit if it's tap water that you've just boiled. But if it is from some other source, you need to let it sit so that all of that stuff can settle to the bottom, and then you drink from the top. Always drink from the top anyway,
Yeah.
in these kind of situations. Okay.
If you'll notice our water that comes out of the tap, it's really, when you first get it out of the tap, it's really fishy looking.
Cloudy.
Cloudy, yeah. And so, Alan Spangler, a friend of ours, he used to say, turn it on cold, let it run all that gunk out, and then drink it from the cold stage, because the hot stage was even worse than the cold stage, and then let it settle. Or, yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
interesting.
Good to know. Now we'll talk about purification tablets or drops. They're usually iodine. Here are some here. I haven't tried these before. I got these at Emergency Essentials. but they say that tablets are most effective when the water you're purifying is 68 degrees or higher. There again, the cool thing, right? You're talking about. They will kill bacteria living in your water. They are most often used by campers in the wilderness. Pregnant women and women over 50 and people with thyroid problems or taking lithium should consult a doctor before using these tablets. They're iodine, you know. So strain the water again. It says place the tablets in the water and allow them to be completely dissolved. Wait for 30 minutes before drinking the water, as the tablets need at that time to effectively kill any bacteria in the water. It takes time for that to take place. So to lessen the strange taste of tablets that the tablets give the water, they say to add a pinch of salt or to add it into like a drink mix or something. So another way of purifying your water is to use a pump purifier. They're generally handheld, made out of a ceramic cartridge. And they have two separate hoses, one for clean water and one for dirty water. So you'll know by what you're buying. When you see that, you'll know those two hoses mean it's a pump purifier. You can also get ones that attach to your sink. You know about those. Also, you can buy individual bottles with the filters in them. The storage, the church storage place in Linden, what is that called? Storage center?
No, the,
Storehouse.
Not the Bishop
No.
Storehouse. It's next door to it. It's where you can buy
dry
things.
pack, the dry pack.
It's a storage house, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they sell these for, I think they're $14 or something, and they sell these individual bottles. I thought I'd give the kids
I
that
have
for
some, and
Christmas.
I wish I would have brought them, but my family, we all went in together, all my cousins and a bunch of my relatives, and we bought some and we got them, I think, for like $10 each or something. But they look like regular water bottles and they just have a filter inside.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really neat. We keep those in our submitting to our kit along with water and their
Mhm,
other purifiers.
Beautiful.
And I bought them from a regular vendor, and it cost $25 a piece. So the church selling them for 14 is really good.
Yeah, and I looked at the label and I couldn't see how many, you know, how long that will last, that
I
filter.
want to say 100 gallons.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can also use a ultraviolet purifier, which I've never seen. I've never seen this. And you simply stick the pin of the lamp into the water, and then you wait for the light to turn green. And then you spin it around, you know, you swoosh it around in there, and then your water's safe. It doesn't take out the diseased bacteria, but it won't hurt you any longer. I mean, it'll still be there, but it won't be dangerous anymore. So I guess it kills it. It just doesn't take it out physically, unless you did the filter thing. I think you should always do the filter thing if you're in a situation where you're not sure about your water. I really do. I really think that's important. Now, the gravity-fed purifier, I wanted to have that made, and I couldn't do it. It's quite a long list. That's why you might want these to have copies made so you can see it, how it's done. But I have a diagram here. This is actually a plastic bottle, like a drinking bottle. And you first put in pebbles, then you put a layer of sand, then charcoal, then cloth, then charcoal, then cloth, sand, and pebbles again. And you run your water through that, and it acts as a filter.
Cool.
It says also here that you can form a cone out of a strip of bark, like birch bark or bark similar to it. You can make a cone out of that instead of, if you don't have one of those bottles like that.
You just like put holes in the top and then like water in the top and then it comes out the bottom.
Yeah, and you put it in the bowl.
They also
bowl or
have little bags you can buy and hang from trees. They're
Mhm.
camping supplies that you use. I don't know where you buy them, but they have
You
them
can
for
get 'em at
camping
the
supplies.
Emergency place. They're kind of
Yeah.
expensive, but they might be a good thing to invest in. Thanks for that. It says, here's a note that says, disinfection does not work as well when the water is cloudy or colored. Let the water settle, then filter the water through a coffee filter, a clean cloth, or a paper towel, and then boil it. So if that stuff is in there, it's harder for it to purify, which makes sense. Now, this is hard to believe, but this is the easiest way to purify water. The Healthy World Organization approved this method, and it's used in third world countries around the world. You take a bottle like this, or a drinking bottle, hopefully not too many ridges. This has ridges. I tried to find one that didn't, but they all seem to have it. And I don't know why, and maybe it's hard for the sun to get in there. Place it out in the sun, and the sun's ultraviolet rays will purify it in 5 to 6 hours. You'll have purified water by putting it out in the sun.
And even in a plastic container.
He says you can use a ridged one, but he said it's better if you don't, but you still can. He still does it if you have to. Isn't that interesting?
All you have to do is put it in the sun.
It says the sun's ultraviolet light sterilizes the water.
Wow.
Who said you have to use a peat recycling grade bottle. This is a peat. It's not the highest number, of course, but it is a peat bottle, because in the sun will warm it enough to where it might, if it's not a good bottle, will take some of the chemicals out of the plastic. He says a Gatorade bottle works best. So is that amazing or what? Do you believe that? I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I threw away a bunch of Gatorade bottles.
It'll taste better than if you have to boil it or add iodine tablets.
Oh yeah, well it's safer if you're worried about the iodine.
Well, this is true. Another great product out in the market that is
in the sun.
so useful. I don't know if anybody's heard of GSE before, but we learned about this at the Harbor Alliance, Safe Harbor Alliance conference, and I looked it up. And people are using it just for their health every day. And this is what it does. Okay, it purifies water. 1 drop for 1 quart of water. Shake and use. Just shake it. It's grape seed extract. You can get it.
Where do I find that?
Liquid concentrate. I got this at Good Earth on sale for $20. It's very concentrated. That's why it's so much.
But you can easily put that in a bag.
You can buy it online, and it is this. I think it's 2 ounces, and it's more than that. It's $16 or something. Be careful. Like on Amazon, they sell a product that's not the original. It looks like this, and they say it's not as good. So make sure it says original formula if you get it online. But I got it at Good Earth on sale.
Does that just preserve okay, just like in your backpack?
Yeah.
You don't have to keep it chilled? Or...
You know what? I looked at the bottle on here. What did it say? Expiration 4/20.
And does it say refrigerate or anything? Nope.
Put it in your 72-hour kit. Get the smaller one and put it in your 72-hour kit. So it purifies water. Get this. It also antibacterially cleans dishes, counters, and toilets. It's antibacterial. It cleans out parasites. So if you put it in your drinking water, I think he said 2 to 3 drops in your drinking water, it will clean out parasites. Like he says if you get dysentery, he's had it happen on camping trips before. He puts this in his water and he's fine. It really helps. Nasal spray, you would dilute it, of course. If you're gonna use it for wound care, cleaning your ears or nasal spray, you want to dilute it first. It's very concentrated. And then you also can brush your teeth with it. But he suggested having this in your 72-hour kit, not only for the purification need, but also like if you're bringing your commode with you, you know, the bucket with the toilet seat cover, you can clean your toilet seat with that. And it's what am I trying to say? It's portable. You know, it's a portable toilet, and you can clean it and keep cholera away. So other alternative water sources, and they said this, and I thought this was silly. Melt ice cubes. Well, after a while, you're not going to have any ice. How many ice cubes do you have in your house? So, you know, but drain your hot water tank and pipes. But it says do not use water from toilet flush tanks or bowls, radiators, water beds, swimming pools, or spas. I was always told you could use the flush tank water, but don't use it, it says.
And not the swimming pool or your water heater?
Not for any use that, you know. I guess you could use your swimming pool to wash, but you can't cook with it or drink with it, or I wouldn't use the toilet tank water for anything now. Now that
Yeah.
But anyway, if you ever camp or you go hiking and you run out of water, you need water, or if for some reason you're in a a flight mode where you've already used your water supply. How do you find water? Water from springs and streams are the best. Lakes and ponds and rivers are less ideal because lakes and ponds are stagnant and have increased levels of bacteria and gross things. Be wary of flooding water or rivers flowing through populated areas, because that's where they get the pollution from. Snow and ice is a good method. Snow and ice is a good source of water. You never eat snow or ice, as it will lower your body temperature. So purify snow water. However, it says here some people don't purify snow water. I guess people who are experienced hikers know what snow to look for. You don't want to consume any snow that is black, brown, or yellow. Go figure.
Common sense, you'd think.
He says just bring it to temperature by mixing it with a little bit of water rather than putting it in a hot pan, because that makes it taste awful. So water can be filtered from mud. You can dig in dry riverbeds and low-lying areas. If you can't find water, he says to start walking downhill. Look for dark patches in the landscape or any group of vegetation that stands out in a low area, and that's where you dig. And you can find water that way.
I gotta say something about that. I was at the Pink Coral Sand Dunes down south where it's really hot and dry, I mean deserts, and you go on the lowest sand dune and start digging down and you get water in the sand dunes.
Yeah, there's a water table.
Yeah, so I was just amazed.
It's just that you want to work as least amount of effort as
Yeah,
possible.
we didn't have to dig down that far. It was just me and my kids playing. And we were just kind of digging in the sand, and all of a sudden there's water, you know? It's like, wow.
And so that's where that cloudy water that you want to let settle before you filter it and let it settle, because you're getting that water and there's sand in there and whatnot in there. You want that to get the good out of it, to do that. But that's interesting. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mary. Awesome.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. What do you guys see?